if you choose that path, you can't be a nice man. You can't be a nice man or a nice woman, because you will encounter so much enmity, so much hostility. You go against such powerful establishment that you need to be a warrior. And of course, Lord Krishna he said fight, but he didn't himself shoot the arrow. He let Arjuna shoot the arrows and kill the enemy. So being a kshatriya, being a warrior, it's tough. It's something that very, very few people are willing to do, to sacrifice their life, their fortune, their money, their reputation for something that they believe is so essential. And the idea of India, the idea of this India which I love, which I came to know and I came to understand and I came to respect, I came to cherish, it's worth fighting for. Unfortunately, as I said, very few people are willing to come out of their comfort zone and fight for it. So now I live in India for 50 years. And my impression has always been that Indians have an aspiration to go beyond caste. In cities like Delhi or Madras, even I have a residence in Auroville, so I am, Auroville is really in Tamil Nadu, in the rural Tamil Nadu, I see that, the youth and people, they haven't, all this Brahmanical system it's an evil theory because it has no ground, or it has very rare, very little ground of truth. Very little, there's a grain of truth, but it's been amplified to such an extent that, people believe, that Twitter guy comes to India and speaks about Brahmanical, hold over India. It's tragic, So it's important that people fight in the West this idea that India is demonic. Because Indian has been demonized. You understand that, this is so important to understand. Because in Delhi, I'm a member of the Foreign Correspondents Club, and there are good people there, but they demonize India. The New York Times, the Guardian, Le Monde, the Norway newspapers, they keep demonizing India, and we don't understand why. We don't understand why. That in this country, which has accepted since centuries, every persecuted religious minority in the world, whether they're the Parsis, whether they're the Armenians, whether they're the Tibetans today, whether they're the Ahmadi Muslims, every persecuted minority in the world found refuge in this country, because Hindus believe that, God is many, God has many names, and he's born or she is born, over the ages with different names, different scriptures. So this is a very strong belief in this country, and this is why, my wife is a Sikh, half Sikh, half Hindu. When she went to France with me, my father was a staunch Catholic, wanted to take her to church. She went happily. She didn't find that she was committing a sin, by going to a church, She happily went, and it made my father very happy, that she. But the opposite is not true. It's a one-way traffic. The tolerance of Indians is a one-way traffic, because Hindus are not tolerated, actually. Christians tell their convert that don't enter a temple, it's a sin. Don't put a putu, it's a sin. Don't do puja, it's a mortal sin. So it's a one-way traffic. So we need to fight. And when you find people like Rajiv, who they should be more supported. Okay, this is good. We have 50 people tonight, but there should be 50,000 people. I've been doing that job also for 30 years, trying to convince people that come out of your comfort zone, Hindus need to unite, Hindus need to fight. India needs to become a powerful country. It is important that India become economically, military, nuclear-wise, a powerful country. Because unless it becomes a powerful country, this knowledge, this tolerance, the last knowledge in the world, why am I born? I didn't know that before coming here, What is the point of being born? Why do we keep dying? How we get reborn again and again? What is karma? What is dharma? This is unknown, it is lost in the world. So this knowledge needs to be protected. And for that, India needs to become a powerful country. And for that, India needs kshatriyas. And this is what India is lacking at the moment, that spirit of fighting for what you feel is the truth, standing up for truth, standing up for your people, standing up for your women, your sadhus, your tailors, This is what's important. Okay, it's important that you educate your children, send them to good school, protect your family. But it's also important, the larger the country, the people, your borders, your enemies. So this is what I wanted to say tonight, is that people like Rajiv Malhotra are rare and unique, so they have to be defended, promoted, widely. This book should be widely read, because what he says about Harvard is frightening. Even I didn't know everything, that so many Indian billionaires give money to Harvard University because it's so prestigious. So how Indians are. Okay, I give money because my name will appear there. And they give money for their own country to be belittled, to be attacked. Do you understand that? All these billionaires in India, who may be good people in their own right, they're giving money to a university that's going to use that money to attack India. So this whole ideology which is demonizing India, actually the demon. The demon is there, the poison is there. And it is something that needs to be fought. Again, I was telling Rajiv in the car that I have met 4 education ministers since Mr. Modi came to power. Some of them good men, like Mr. Javadekar, who was a very good man, good willing. But all clueless, they have no idea. They have no idea that we need to change the system so that your children know about the greatness of their own country. There are warriors. In France, there's one woman warrior called Jeanne d'Arc. We are very proud of Jeanne d'Arc. I don't know how many of you know Jeanne d'Arc. Now, in India, they have thousands of Jeanne d'Arc, From Rani of Jhansi, of course, is the most well-known, but Rani Kito Channamma of Karnataka, Aliya Holkar from Indore, Rani Durgavati from Maharashtra. There are so many heroes and heroines in India. If only your children could learn about them. If only your children could know that, during the Vedas, they were doing mathematical calculation that, took another 2,000 years for Westerners to find. That they had calculated the distance from the Earth to the Moon much before Western astronomers knew about it. So what I find is that, unless you change the system, the education system in India, then you won't produce many Rajiv Malhotras. You see any Frenchman today, they're proud to be French. Most Indian children are not proud to be Indian, and this strikes me. I go to American universities, and I see the children there, the students there, they have no clue about their roots. They have no clue about the greatness of this country. How great your history is, how ancient, how great. Of course it is also, bloody and cruel, but overall, what a great country, I'm a white man, Catholic born, Catholic raised, and I come here and I say, wow, it is great to be Indian, it is great to be an Indian. So what we need, I'm going to conclude now, what we need is that the spirit of Kshatriya, the spirit of fighting for what is true, what is noble, what is in danger. And at the moment, your country, India, is surrounded by danger. I'm not going to do a political discourse, but the Chinese have encircled India from Nepal to Sri Lanka to Burma to Pakistan. They are given, the nuclear technology to Pakistan. So your country is surrounded by enemies. So it's important that at least mentally, at least there in the mind, you say, okay, I'm aware that the need of the moment is to fight, is to unite, and I need my children to know that too. So that, we protect this great country that is India, and I think that is what Rajiv has been fighting for most of his life, is that to protect it from the dangers, to protect it from the poison, to protect it from the demonization, because that making India like a demon is something which is unacceptable. It is unacceptable that universities like Harvard get money from Indian billionaires to demonize India. Do you understand that? It is unacceptable. It is unacceptable. And we should always fight it. At least we should know about it, that most of you Indian millionaires are giving money to people, and the money come back to, to demonize you, to demonize your values, to demonize your country.